Before we get into Raya and the Last Dragon, Coming to America debuted on Amazon Prime this past weekend. The film follows Prince Akeem as he now reigns on high in the African country of Zamunda. He realizes he has an estranged son, miraculously, in the United States, and brings him to Zamunda in order to secure his male heir to the throne. This film has a giant cast that includes, of course, Eddie Murphy in multiple roles, Arsenio Hall, Jermaine Fowler, Leslie Jones, Tracy Morgan, Shari Headley, James Earl Jones, and Wesley Snipes. Darius, what did you think of this movie?
I actually enjoyed it to a certain extent. I thought it was funny most of the time. I mean, it's an Eddie Murphy comedy movie. That's what you should expect. And just if you like Eddie Murphy, if you like sort of his comedy side, if you like Coming to America 1, and you were really interested in Coming to America 2, I mean, I don't see any hurt in watching it because it's just, on occasion, a fun, entertaining movie. However, even if it's a comedy, quite a few of the jokes did not land for me, and I just kept just almost staring at a blank screen on certain occasions. I mean, it's like I enjoyed it, and then at other times I was just like, okay, where's any of this going?
So yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it. I'm going to be honest. I enjoyed this movie much more than I thought I was going to. Like, I was genuinely stunned how great of a time I had watching this movie. Don't get me wrong. Don't go into this expecting The Godfather, because you're going to be very disappointed. But I honestly laughed my ass off throughout the majority of the movie. Now, don't get me wrong. Here. The reason this movie exists is really stupid. Like, should this movie really exist? No. Does it bother me enough to say don't watch it? Honestly, no. Because like I said, I had a great time watching this. I enjoyed this so much more than I thought I was going to. It wasn't quite as dumb as I thought it was going to be. Because even with certain character dynamics that they had going on, as much as they felt lighter or a bit slight at one point, they felt satisfying overall. Because there still is a lot going on with Prince Akeem's son coming in, and like, you know, the insecurity that he has being in this new country. Prince Akeem also has 3 daughters, one of which who was hell-bent on taking the throne up when her father dies, and she's obviously the rightful fit for the role. So there's a great conflict there. And, of course, you have all this against the threat of Wesley Snipes' character. He plays a villain, of course, shaking it up a bit, Wesley Snipes. And, you know, he's great in the film, too.
Yeah.
And so, honestly, this movie had a lot more going on than I thought it would, which was honestly a very pleasant surprise. Even cast across the board, it had a giant cast. Even if some characters weren't quite necessary, but by and large, everybody was great. Eddie Murphy is awesome. Arsenio Hall is awesome. James Earl Jones, for the little bit that he's in the movie, he managed to be hilarious too. What a king! Even Tracy Morgan,
that was awesome.
Oh God! Just kill him already! Just kill him already, Akkeem. Even Tracy Morgan too. And do I think his character was necessary? Honestly, no.
No,
but he's someone that I've always liked watching. I thought he was awesome on 30 Rock, especially with the accident that he had a few years ago. It's really nice to see him just like making a comeback and just like, you know, returning to TV and movies. So his character wasn't necessary, but his presence is always a welcome one.
Yeah, and speaking of like Wesley Snipes, like we haven't seen him in a while, you know, and he just, to me, he knocked it out of the park in this role and what he was supposed to. Like, he was
the inspiration for Mufasa.
Screen, I kept laughing. Like,
wait, which part? I'm sorry.
I said every time he's on screen, I can't stop laughing. Like, he's just hysterical.
He was really funny in the movie. He was really great. I'm gonna be honest though, Leslie Jones, she kind of annoyed me in this one.
She annoyed me too. Yeah.
I don't know if that could have been intentional. If that was the case, brava. But her and her character, just like every time she's on the screen, I'm like, oh man,
man. Not this stereotype again.
Honestly, you're not wrong. But one of the things that I did appreciate about this movie is how I like the callbacks to the original film. None of them ever felt forced. From like all the other people that returned from the original movie to just certain references in the story and like certain parallels between like Prince Akeem's son and Prince Akeem and like the things that they go through, while still managing to put some kind of twist on Akeem's son's story. I thought that was pretty well done. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't expect to actually care about Hakeem's son as much as I did. To be honest, especially in the beginning, I was just like, "Oh, he's gonna be this type." But over time, I was like, "You know what? He's not too bad. He's actually putting in effort. Like that's the thing.
Honestly, yeah,
Like that's
yeah, for
what got
sure.
me even more connected to him. That he was actually putting in effort to be almost, someone in power and in leadership. And so, just like in general, I really enjoyed this movie. I laughed quite a quite a few times, and then there are definitely times when it's like, okay, I don't get this, or okay. It was just an
Yeah,
awkward, almost position where it's like, here's a joke. It kind of felt like you're meant to laugh, but I'm not laughing.
yeah. It's funny in comparison to the original film. I'm not sure. Actually, no. I am sure the original one, of course, is better. I think I laughed more at this one because I just think that's how comedy has evolved since the
Yeah.
80s. But going back to the 80s, really, it's very weird. 80s comedies is like a niche of film that 9 times out of 10 doesn't do it for me. For whatever reason, it just doesn't land
Hmm.
for me. Coming to America was the exception. I thought once again, that was a genuinely funny movie, and I thought all in all, it was a well done movie too. So
Yeah.
overall, the original one is of course better, but like this one, once again, should it be a thing? This one, no. A
No.
sequel that no one asked for that comes out decades later, no, of course not. Does it justify its
I
experience as
appreciate
much
the
as like
sequel,
I'm sorry.
but I appreciate the sequel. I mean,
I
like
do,
that's
yeah,
cool.
I do,
Yeah.
yeah. Once again, does it justify itself as much as like a Blade Runner 2049? Of course not even close. But once again, was there stuff to enjoy with Coming to America? Honestly, yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, I was expecting to watch this movie to have something to tear apart on the show, but I was pleasantly surprised. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
wanted to
so
watch this movie because my dad got me into Eddie Murphy. So, yeah.
yeah, of course, legend.
But yeah,
So
I personally thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Had a lot of fun. My dad and I were laughing almost the entire time on certain occasions. Yeah, it was it was just great.
yeah,
it was just fun. Like that's really what it came down to. I just had a fun time with it. So if you don't
same
take
here.
it seriously, then you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. That's a really great way to put it. This is not a movie that demands to be taken seriously, though, at all. It's not like it's something that you shouldn't take
Yeah.
seriously that wants to be taken seriously. No, this movie knows exactly what it is, and it even makes a little poke at itself too, because
Oh,
there's
for
one
sure.
scene where they're talking about like American pop culture and how like a lot of movies are basically sequels that no one asked for that come out decades later. I'm like, all right, at least they have they have the humility to do that. This movie knows what it is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of Coming to America? Don't forget to leave your comments, or excuse me, your thoughts in that comment section below. Now, before we get into Raya and the Last Dragon, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and hit the bell to get all notifications, whether you're on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or now Google Podcasts or the Podcast Index. Follow our social media platforms in that description below.